I think we've all heard the commercials, help, I fell down, I can't get up. But we probably never really listened to them until we either experienced it or we had a loved one that experienced it. And that commercial, though, was around a call button. So if you fell down, couldn't get up, there was a way for you to hit a call button. Well, today I'm going to give you some critical information about falling, fall preventions, and fall recovery without a call button. So hello, I am Jo Rosen, president of Parkinson's Resource Organization, and I'm bringing things to know right now to you again. Our wellness village is filled with virtual, vetted, video-driven products and services that you can rely on. And so we ask you to keep looking at the wellness village and finding the resources that you want, some of which you may not even have known about before. And I trust that today's conversation will be something similar to that. So I'm excited to introduce you to Michael Martin, who is the Vice President of Marketing of IndeeLift, the people picker-upper. IndeeLift has been in the Wellness Village for almost all of this year, and many of our constituents are just raving about the help that they've been given. The caregivers, how their back isn't being broken trying to lift someone. It's an awesome thing. So Michael, thank you for joining us first and foremost. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Well, thank you. And I'm honored to attend this webinar here. Thank you very much, Joe, and to the Parkinson's Resource Organization as well. So myself, Michael Martin, I am the VP of Marketing, and our mission here at IndeeLift really is to help constituents like you have to live a more independent and a life with dignity. So when a fall does occur, it can be addressed safely and quickly by eliminating the manual lifting that's required and the frantic situation that's always surrounding when somebody ends up on the ground. And there's a variety of reasons people end up on the ground. Our device is here to help get somebody up safely and quickly and on with their day.
And so as we continue to talk, Michael, we'll be showing a little video over us, so they won't see our faces, but they'll see that video, and that'll give them an opportunity to understand what it is that we are talking about as people picker-upper. So, ladies and gentlemen, as Parkinson's progresses, and even as we age, falling becomes an issue. And at Parkinson's Resource Organization, we're always concerned about the caregiver hurting him or herself, trying to navigate their partner's fall. And so I think the first thing I noticed in the video that you've now just been watching is that the caregiver took a deep breath of relief after her person is in a standing position. We saw her bring the IndeeLift to him after he fell. How heavy or cumbersome is the IndeeLift? And can you address how this might help the caregiver or the care partner?
Sure. So the IndeeLift is moved from location to location. It operates and is mobile, just like a simple dolly. So if anybody has the ability to move their garbage can, for example, out to the curb, is one parallel example. They just simply tilt the unit back and they roll it from one place to the other. It moves very quickly and very easily.
Yeah, I keep saying how I love this product. I think the device is so terrific. But generally when a person with Parkinson's falls, and even after they are centered, it's difficult for them to scooch over to get into onto the IndeeLift unless it's really close by. Do you have any suggestions of best practices with IndeeLift if one lives by him or herself, or if they find themselves alone after a fall?
Yes, it's a very common question, and one of the great applications for IndeeLift is it can be used by a caregiver or it can be self-operated. Many lifts out there require a caregiver or multiple caregivers to operate it to lift somebody up. So the most common application for somebody that may live alone is that they would put the unit in a more common area, the living room, the family room, or the bathroom, or wherever they're susceptible to falls. A lot of falls happen at night from their bed to the bathroom, for example. So they may leave it in their bedroom. Everybody's different. Everybody's mobility is different. But if an individual has the ability to crawl short distances or scoot short distances, they can place themselves onto the IndeeLift and then obviously self-operated to bring it up to whatever height is needed in order for them to walk away.
As when we get into the pricing a little further down the line, might be that they get more than one lift for their home just to make sure that they're always have something close by. But I didn't see an electrical cord on the IndeeLift. So can you tell us how it's powered and what the upkeep of that might be?
So the IndeeLift is powered by a rechargeable battery, which enables the unit to be brought anywhere, outside. It's got a very narrow width, for example. It'll fit through any doorway, bathrooms, but it can be brought wherever the individual has fallen. We've heard stories of people falling in their driveways, for example, in their gardens. It can be brought out to wherever it is needed. You'll get multiple lifts out of each charge. And even if you have, let's say the battery is dead, you forgot to recharge, you can still plug it in and it'll operate. You'll get an annoying beep to remind you to recharge it in the meantime, but it is always available to be used. And so you'll see a cord with it, you'll recharge it, and it could be left in the charge, left plugged in, for example, if it's not needed frequently. There's no worries, or you can just leave it in the middle of the room, for example, in my earlier example, and you'll maintain a charge for a very long time.
Yeah, thinking outside of the box, nothing for anybody to trip over like a cord, huh? I love it. Right. I don't know if there are two machines here, Michael, or not, but you can tell us for sure. So in Parkinson's, we always worry about the best quality of life possible. So we think about dignity. And one of the things that can take dignity away is not being able to get out of a chair or get off of a sofa or things, whatever they're sitting in, it's difficult. So as we're talking, we're watching another video that shows how some dignity can be given. The machine that we're talking about, Michael, is that different than the IndeeLift, or is it the IndeeLift being used to lift somebody or to get somebody off of the couch and get them onto the lift?
Good question. So the IndeeLift, in addition to fall recovery, which is a very popular application, it's really can be used as a transfer aid as well and a mobility aid. And the examples, like you just mentioned, people have people with neuromuscular diseases, Parkinson's and such, have difficulty getting up from a couch, getting onto a couch, getting up from a kitchen chair, for example, or the commode, and they need assistance. So IndeeLift is there to help them get back up, not only to get off of a couch, but also to get on a couch. We've heard from individuals that really avoid getting onto their sofa because it's very difficult to get off, or their caregivers have a difficult time getting them off as well. So in the videos, you can see how an individual can simply slide from the couch onto the IndeeLift, and they can raise or lower the IndeeLift to whatever height they're needed, and then they simply just will raise it up to walk away.
It's so awesome. I wish I had this when my husband was alive, because it would have helped just dramatically. But notwithstanding that, how expensive is IndeeLift, and is it covered by insurance?
We have different models, 300 or 400 pound capacities, and we have different lift heights from seated to a full standing height. You'll see that on our website. For individuals with Parkinson's, we always recommend the full standing height, simply because they need that in order to stand up and walk away. It's 30 inches, that's the lift. The range is from $17.95 on the low end up to $25.95 on the high end.
And that's $2,500 and $1,700.
Yes, $2,595. That's correct. And as far as Medicare, so individuals that are covered by Medicare Part B and are eligible and are diagnosed and prescribed and so forth, they can go to our website. We have laid out how to claim a reimbursement, and we walk them through the steps, the forms, what the verbiage to use, what their doctor should be, the verbiage they should be using as well, to help them go through the process.
So that's on our wellness, on your page in the Wellness Village, so someone can easily just click that button and go in and start working on how to get this reimbursed through Medicare. That is so critically important. But notwithstanding, the device is so much less expensive than ones that we talked about even 5 years ago, where they were $5,000 and $7,000 a piece. So
Yes.
the prices and the technology obviously have changed. So for all of you that are listening or watching, you can find the resources like IndeeLift in the Wellness Village at the URL that is down beneath here as we're talking. And you can also watch for the newsletter, where Michael will be the author of articles about lifting and about falls, about fall recovery, etc. And watch for the village meetings, because he has an opportunity to speak to you at those meetings where you can ask questions that you don't have an opportunity for today. But I think that we just brought you some really wonderful saving grace, saving bodies, saving people information today that from the bottom of my heart, I think is one of the best things that's come into the Parkinson's world. So, Michael, thank you for today. It's so nice to have you in my sphere of influence.
It's our honor, like I mentioned. Thank you, Joe.
And I'll talk to you really soon. And so for everyone else, keep watching Things to Know Right Now, and we'll continue to bring you good information throughout the summer. Thanks so very much.